I think everyone here recognizes how extraordinary space is. Whether it is satellites that orbit the Earth, humans that land on the moon, or telescopes that peer into the furthest reaches of the universe. Space is exciting. It spurs our imaginations, and it forces us to ask big questions. Space, it affects us all, and it connects us all.
Space connects us all. Actually, it separates us all. That's by definition.
Good morning, everybody. It is around 8:30 here in Nicosia, Cyprus, and I am in the old town of the city, and I thought I would do a quick video, a video update on this Friday. But before I get started, I just want to let everyone know that this kind of announcement for this channel, the Duran and Alexander's channel, there is this troll, this scammer in our comments that keeps on asking for numbers, and he puts his number in the comments, or he asks for your number, and he asks to message them. Just know that we will never, ever, ever ask for your number or put our numbers in the comments section down below. So if you see this this impersonator in our comment section, in any of the channels, Alexander's, mine, or the Duran, just ignore this troll. I do report him like every single day. I report him to YouTube, but this troll just keeps on coming back. So I just really think the best way to deal with trolls is to not feed them. So ignore them, and I think eventually this troll will go away. Just remember, we will never, ever, ever ask for your number or your WhatsApp, and we'll never put our number or our WhatsApp in the comment section. So with that said, let's do a video as we walk around a very quiet downtown Nicosia. And you saw the opening segment with Kamala Harris talking about space. I didn't put that opening segment to mock Kamala Harris, though in her statements, there's a lot to mock, that's for sure. But I put that in there because the first news item that I want to talk about is the fact that the Russian government has decided to put sanctions on 29 U.S. Diplomats and business people, and 69 Canadian diplomats and business people, and two of those people that have been. Let's go towards the bell. Why not? Let's go towards the bell, the church. And so two of those individuals that have been sanctioned are Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, and the Zuckbot, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook. So the Russian government has decided to place these two individuals on their blacklist. So Zuckerberg and Harris, well, they won't be traveling to Moscow or St. Petersburg anytime soon. And for all the people living in Russia, that is truly a blessing to not have Harris or Zuckerberg visiting your country or your city. So that's the first bit of news. The Russian government kind of trolling the United States and trolling Facebook, which is interesting. And the next bit of news. Now let's get into the real news. The real news here, and it's going to have to do with what I believe is just a massive scam that's taking place. Since we're talking about scams, this is the biggest theft scam heist that is taking place now in history, or one of the biggest, that's for sure. And it has to do with the fact that all these weapons are pouring into Ukraine, and all this money is pouring into Ukraine. And no one really knows where it's going to go or what it's going to be used for, because we all know that the weapons aren't going to make a difference in this conflict. The Donbass Ukraine military that is trapped in this encirclement, in this cauldron, will be annihilated in 4 to 6, 8 weeks, whatever it's going to be. They are going to be annihilated. This church right here. Let's go walk in real quick. It's a little noisy with the bell, but let's just take a peek here. So, yeah, all these weapons are going to hit the black market. They're going to be stolen, and they're going to make someone a lot of money. But you now have Elensky also making demands for cash. So he came out during a media statement with the Spanish and I believe the Spanish Prime Minister and the Prime Minister from Denmark. They had a media press conference yesterday. It seems like all these world leaders are just traveling to Kiev. Just like 2 days ago, Michelle was there. Before that, you had van der Leyen was there. Boris Johnson was there. Borrell was there. I mean, everyone is just traveling to Kiev. You know my feelings on this. I think they're meeting Elensky in Poland and they're traveling together to Kiev. They bring their press and photo and video team with them. They do their little skit and then they go back to Poland. That's what I think is going on. But anyway, during this media conference, this media presser, Elensky said that Ukraine has the damages to the Ukraine economy adds up to around 550 billion, and that Ukraine would like, or Ukraine is telling the European Union and the U.S. that they need $7 billion every month now in order to rebuild. What they're going to rebuild, you know, what this Ukraine that they're going to rebuild is going to be, who knows? Elensky is saying that with this investment, with this money, they'll be able to rebuild Ukraine. They'll be able to invest in business and create a thriving, you know, modern European state in Ukraine with this $7 billion a month. And he means $7 billion a month, not for like 1 or 2 months, like $7 billion a month for like, you know, 10 years, say, you know. The EU and the US is going to be on the hook for 10 years paying Ukraine $7 billion. Of course, for the US, the money's going to be given to Ukraine, but it's going to be given in the form of loans. And so the Ukraine taxpayer is going to theoretically pay that back to the United States, those loans. They're going to be indebted to the US forever, or at least the institutions, the globalist institutions, World Bank, IMF, all of these corrupt institutions that enslave countries. And so, yeah, Elensky is saying $7 billion. And if anyone believes that this $7 billion a month that Elensky is asking for is going to actually go to the people of Ukraine to make their lives better, well, as Alexander says, I have a bridge to sell you if you think this money is going to be actually used to better the lives of the Ukraine people. No, it's going to be stolen. It's going to be stolen. It's going to be laundered. It's going to be given to the oligarchs, Ukraine oligarchs, American oligarchs, European oligarchs. It's going to be divvied out to them. And it's going to also be divvied out to the political class. You know, 10% for the big guy, right? So, yeah, that's what Elensky is asking for now, $7 billion. And then I always come up with the question, $7 billion for Ukraine, to invest in Ukraine. What is going to be left of Ukraine if Elensky doesn't come up with some sort of ceasefire or negotiated settlement like now? He is running out of time. If he wants to save Ukraine and keep some sort of form of a Ukrainian nation state, some sort of form, then he needs to come up with a settlement like today. But otherwise, all you're going to have is this rump, northwestern Ukraine rump state, which is completely cut off from the sea, completely cut off from all of the natural resources that matter. And it's just going to be a rump state full of people that worship Bandera what was that? People that worship, people that worship Stepan Bandera and a ton of weapons. That's what the West Ukraine is going to be. Bandera worshippers with a ton of freaking weapons. Congratulations, European Union. That's what you're going to inherit. With no resources, no access to any ports, completely dependent on the EU and the United States. That's going to be the new Ukrainian state if Elensky doesn't come up with an agreement. But people like Boris Johnson are not allowing Elensky to come up with an agreement. They're not allowing him to negotiate an agreement. Not that Elensky is actually calling the shots, but Boris Johnson is coming out with statements, and let me read it to you, one of his statements, where he is saying this. One sec. I really should move Boris Johnson towards the end for the Clown World segment every time I bring him up, but in this case, we're going to have to talk about Boris's statement where he actually compares Putin to a crocodile, and he says that, here it is, he says that Elensky should not, under any circumstances, negotiate with the Russians. He said, I really don't see how the Ukrainians can easily sit down and come to some kind of accommodation. How can you negotiate with a crocodile when it's got your leg in its jaws? That is the difficulty that the Ukrainians face. Yeah, Boris Johnson doesn't want an end to this. Why would you want an end to this crisis when you're making so much money? Biden gave a press conference yesterday, and he said that he's going to pledge another $500 million right away. Another $500 million to Ukraine is going to be sent to Ukraine, just like that. 500 million USD. And this is on top of the 800 million in military aid that he sent the other day, and this is on top of the already 3 to 4 billion that the U.S. has already sent Elensky's way. You think this money is actually being put to good use? If you believe that, well, I've got a bridge to sell you. God. I mean, meanwhile, inflation is just going crazy. We have an energy crisis, food shortages. In Germany the other day, they measured the product price index. I believe that's what it's called. Let me just make sure I get this right. The producer price index for inflation was released by the German government, and they are reporting 30.9% inflation for products leaving German factory. That's the highest rate of inflation since shortly after the Second World War. 30.9%, and the Russians haven't even done anything. They haven't even placed any sanctions yet on the EU. The only thing the Russians have done is they've said, gas for rubles, that's it. And you already have Germany falling apart. And by the way, Elensky, during a roundtable meeting, Elensky said that Germany and the Europeans should shut off, not Nord Stream 2, that's already been shut off, Nord Stream 1. Elensky wants Nord Stream 1 shut down, the main gas pipeline that feeds into Germany. And what is Elensky's plan? What is he asking for? Well, Elensky is saying, you know what? Let's take all that gas going through Nord Stream 1 and redirect it to the Ukraine pipeline. That's Elensky's brilliant plan, because Elensky is saying all those gas transit fees that are being paid should go into the coffers of Ukraine. And so he would like the European Union to shut off Nord Stream 1 and for them to redirect all the gas via the Ukraine pipeline. Obviously, Elensky has no idea how gas pipelines work, and I'm not going to get into, I'm not an expert, but even I know enough to tell everybody that it's just not so simple as saying, okay, let's shut Nord Stream 1 down and let's just tell the Russians to pump all their gas through the Ukraine pipeline, because there's no limits to the amount of gas that you can pump through a pipeline. Just put it all through the Ukrainian pipeline. Why not? So, I mean, obviously, Elensky's an idiot. He was probably on one of his as Lavrov said, one of his drinking and drug-induced benders, as Sergei Lavrov pointed out the other day. But I mean, it is just absolutely ridiculous. I said this in a video about a week ago. The Elensky regime are like kids in a candy shop. They're like kids in a toy store, and they know their parents are going to buy them anything they want. Otherwise, they're going to throw a fit. They're going to throw a tantrum. And so Elensky is just saying anything that comes to his head. 7 billion. Yes, 7 billion. More weapons. Yes, more weapons. Heavy artillery. Heavy artillery. Shut off Nord Stream 1 and put all your pipeline gas through the Ukraine pipeline so we can get the transit fees. You know, the Europeans, like Brabach and Habeck and these Greens in Germany, they may be dumb enough to actually believe, number one, they can do this. They may be dumb enough to believe this can be done on a technical level, but they may be dumb enough to actually propose something like this and go along with it. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not shock me at all if they actually float such a proposal to the EU. Oh, by the way, Elensky also said that Mariupol can be saved. He actually said that Mariupol is not under Russian control. And I even have a quote for this. He was with, he was giving a press conference with the Spanish and the Spanish Prime Minister and the Prime Minister from Denmark, who are in Kiev. And during that press conference, Zelensky said, and I quote, "There is a military way to unblock Mariupol. We need to prepare for it. We are preparing to be strong. But here we need the help of our partners. It's difficult by ourselves." And then he asked for more weapons. Elensky actually sat in a press conference with the Prime Minister of Spain and Denmark as they are visiting Kiev, as all European Union leaders seem to be doing nowadays. And Elensky actually said that Mariupol, if the West decides to send more weapons and more money, Mariupol can be liberated, according to Ukraine, to the Ukrainian president, can be saved. That is actually coming out of the mouth of Elensky. And to make matters even worse, during the press conference that Biden gave the other day, Biden said that he doesn't believe the Russians are actually in full control of Mariupol. That is what the potato head president of the U.S. actually stated. By the way, Biden is also blocking Russian ships from entering U.S. ports, much like the Europeans have done. And Greece actually seized a Russian ship the other day, a ship carrying the Russian flag. I think they released that ship now. They've released the crew in that ship, but they actually seized it. They went through their cargo. Just piracy. I mean, the U.S. and the EU, they're just resorting to piracy on the open seas, you know? That's how bad this is getting. That's how desperate they're becoming. And yeah, why do they want the piracy? They want to grab whatever they can. Foreign currency reserves, black market weapons, 7 billion a month being poured into Ukraine. Whatever they can come away with, they're going to grab and they're going to steal. And Boris Johnson, well, he sees this as a good business, so he's telling Elensky, no negotiation, no settlement. Are you kidding, Elensky? This is a great business. We're making a ton of money. So obviously he's urging Elensky to keep the military operation, to keep fighting on and not come to some sort of peaceful resolution. And yeah, they're going to continue to push this narrative, to pour money and weapons and loans into Ukraine until that military collapses in the east. Until the Ukraine military collapses, they're going to continue to float the narrative that the Russian military is losing and Ukraine has a chance if we just send them another billion in money. If we just send them another 500 million in weapons, then they have a chance. And that's what they're going to keep on saying to the European and the American citizens every single week. Just send them another 500 million more and we're going to win. Send them another 5 billion more in cash and we're going to win. And you know that money's going into Ukraine, going in through the front door and coming out through the back door. And the weapons, well, the weapons are being sold for massive, massive profits. That's for damn sure. So that is what is going on there. That is pretty much the update. And let me get to a clown world. And yeah, let's walk up this way towards the bus station, and I'll talk about the clown world. This is a good one. So the clown world has to do with the fact that the Elensky government, well, Elensky himself, actually, not even the government, Elensky, as well as Tikhanovskaya and Ovsyannikova, Marina Ovsyannikova, Tikhanovskaya, and Elensky are up for a media award for freedom from Germany. So Elensky is going to get an award for media freedom. Is this not clown world? Is this not disgusting, disturbing, given everything that we know about the Elensky regime and what they do to journalists? And do I have to mention Gonzalo, what's going on there? Do I have to mention all the other journalists that have gone missing or have been abducted or have been killed by the Elensky regime? Do I have to talk about them? And now you have Elensky up for a Media Freedom Award from Germany. Germany has lost its mind. The German government has lost its mind. The German media has lost its mind. And the other people that are up for the award, Ovsyannikova, Marina, I think I'm pronouncing her name right, and Tikhanovskaya. Tikhanovskaya was the EU puppet that tried to overthrow Lukashenko during the regime change in Belarus, and now she's living it high in Lithuania. She's living the good life, I think in Lithuania or Latvia. So that's who Tikhanovskaya is. She was the puppet that the EU put in front, along with Protasevich, who I mentioned in my video yesterday, the 24-year-old activist journalist that is now in the custody of Lukashenko. Well, Protasevich and Tikhanovskaya and a bunch of other people were the stooges that the EU put in front in order to overthrow Lukashenko in Belarus about a year ago. It didn't work. Lukashenko outsmarted all of them, and they were so furious, they were so upset that they blocked the airspace for Belarus commercial flights into Europe. They completely cut off Belarus from flying into Europe. That was the temper tantrum that these children that run the EU threw when they couldn't get their regime change in Belarus, because they're children. Just the other day, Janet Yellen and her entourage, along with the UK and Canada, at a G20 conference, I believe in Indonesia, they walked out of the room when the Russian official was speaking at this conference. Like little children. They are little children. They walked out of the room in protest. You know, just like little kids having a fit. This is Janet Yellen. This is the person that's in charge of the US economy, acting like a 4-year-old. Yeah, we're in good hands, all right. The collective West is in real good hands. So that's who Tikhanovskaya is. Marina Ovsyannikova, God, that is a difficult name. She is the person I did a report on 2 days ago. I don't know if everyone remembers. She was in my Clown World segment 2 days ago. She was the Russian journalist who was working for Perve Canal, and she was criticizing Putin. And then she got fired, or she got let go, whatever. She left Russia. She left the channel. She was let go from the channel. And then she left Russia because she was offered a job at Germany's Welt TV. And then when she started to work at Welt TV, because she was some heroic figure who stood up to the evil Putin regime, when Welt TV gave her the position at their channel, you had Ukrainian citizens living in Germany protesting the fact that a Russian was working at Welt TV, and they wanted her fired from Welt TV. So now they're going to give her a media award as well. Oh boy. And of course, Zelensky. Do you have to say anything about Elensky and the fact that he's getting a media award? He shut down all opposition media. He imprisoned political opposition. This is before the war, before the conflict. He shut down opposition media and imprisoned political opposition. And now he is going to get a media award. It's clown world. Plain and simple. That's all it is. Clown world. And Germany is Germany is leading the way in this clown world that we have. So I'll leave the video there. And it's interesting that all the stories that I did with Marina at Perve Canal at Channel 1 in Russia, I talked about Protasevich just yesterday, and now you have Tikhanovskaya, who's getting the German Media Award. All my clown worlds just seem to, the one builds on top of the other, doesn't it? I wonder when we're going to hit peak clown world. Seems like all the clown worlds that I'm doing are all interconnected in a way. Anyway, all right, I will leave it there, everybody. It is time to get a coffee and to get this video up. I hope you had a nice walk with me in downtown Nicosia. You see, it's a small downtown. It's not big. The old town is not big at all. It's really easy to walk. 10 minutes and you've pretty much seen the whole thing. But it's nice. It's nice and it's quiet in the morning, peaceful in the morning. In the afternoon, it'll pick up and a lot of people will be here because it's a holiday. It is the Easter weekend here. So take care, everybody. Alexander's channel, check it out. The best analysis on the interwebs with regards to this conflict and this crisis, both on a military, but more importantly, on an economic level. We have excellent analysis there from Alexander's channel. Of course, the Duran. We're doing live shows all the time, and we're analyzing the situation daily. And the Duran.locals.com. Everybody, take care.